Oracle. What should they call her? What should they call her? Oracle. Hey, my loves, lovely soul Empress here. What's good, everybody? What's good, Karina? What's going on? What's good, April? We're gonna be covering the eclipse today. I want to talk to you guys about some things, and we're gonna look at the energy. I got an important hit today. Let's call it a ping, okay? And Spirit said to cover what are the three biggest things standing in your way of manifesting. Okay. And this has a lot to do with the way you look at yourself. Okay. And we're going to be talking about that. We have some amazing energy today. I feel like there is energy coming alive. What's good? Soy la mezclada. Okay. And I feel like we have a shot to the heart, and you're too late. You give love a bad name. Listen, there's like this frequency of like getting after something, standing in contrast to something. And it feels a little delulu, but it's the good delulu. It's the kind of delulu you need to be successful at achieving things. Okay? And a lot of the time, we let our vision of our future to be affected by whether or not other people think that's possible. And that's ludicrous. Okay? So in other words, let me give you an example. You get the concept of starting a business, right? And then you go to your best friend and you say, I was thinking about starting this business. Maybe it's medical transport. And then your friend says to you, what do you know about medical transport? What makes you think that you would be successful at that? And then you turn around and say, you're right. What do I know about that? Right? Because a lot of the times we're looking in other people's mirror to determine whether or not other people feel we can be successful at something. And why is that the determining factor for you? That is actually preventing you from manifesting the life that you want. Okay? So, it is the eclipse today, and I want to talk about what we should be using this energy for. There's so much energy in the house of Pisces right now. Okay? We haven't entered, and as a matter of fact, from Aquarius to Pisces, to Aries, it feels like there's a concentration of planets in that quarter of the chart. Okay? You have Pluto in Aquarius. You have Saturn in Pisces. What's good, Pata? You have Saturn in Pisces. You have Mercury in Aries, Venus in Aries in retrograde. We have Neptune in Pisces. So thank you, my love, for the gifts, right? So my point is, there's a lot of energy in that quarter. We're also having a Virgo full moon in Pisces today, which is also a lunar eclipse. What's good, Project Execute? So, Why do I want to discuss that particular combination? Because Virgo, which is the South Node right now, wants to fixate on a path forward. It wants to make lists, be organized. And although it is important to kind of compartmentalize your thoughts, the real power in this energy right now would be to tap into your intuition, Pisces, North Node, right? Where the reality might be saying to you, we're not in a thriving time period. There is all this pushback, right? From the patriarchy, yada, yada, yada. And something in your spirit should be saying, yes, I know, but maybe this is an opportunity for me to make money. Maybe this is an opportunity, if I'm going to end up having to leave my job, to find a job that will make me happy, right? We need to be looking at what we can use this energy for. What's good, divine leaderships? What's good, everybody coming in, right? How can we use this? What's good, Hudan Lovey, right? How can we use this to kind of focus on what we want? Now, think about it. If you've been watching some of the stories that are happening, some of the things that were tried to be put in place are getting bucked right now. Right? So the delulu-ness of holding space for what we believe should be the outcome versus what we're actually seeing is actually manifesting itself. Manifesting itself in that outcome. Right? So if you can see that energetically, the more that we focus on what it is that we want rather than what we're receiving, that actually puts us in closer proximity to that. If you can see that collectively, then what I ask is, how can you use that same formula to see something that maybe the outside is telling you can't do, and that you are going to manifest anyway because you're holding the space for it and you can envision it. Okay? So before I start pulling cards, I am actually doing a ritual for the spring equinox, which will be dealing exactly with that. And it is in between the two eclipses. Okay? So what am I doing? I am going to leap forward, quantum leap, to a more positive or faster track to the positive timeline that we want. And I'm also going to do some Reiki healing signatures to integrate and upgrade us with that ritual. Okay? If you've not had a ritual by me, there are plenty of people in my group and that can tell you that their lives have shifted due to having ritual work with me. So we're going to just take a look and see what Spirit wants to talk about. I have to eat dinner, and I don't plan to be here too long today, but we're going to discuss what it is that Spirit would like us to concentrate on. 7 of Cups. Look at the Delulu card right there. At the end of the month, right after we have the solar eclipse on the 29th of March, right after that, we will be having Neptune stepping into Aries, which is now us fighting for the Delulu thing, right? And it could also be sneak attacks. So there's a lot of things that we need to harness and create the space for what we want, because there's other opposing energy who's already doing that. So either you are creating the energy that you want to see, okay? Or what's good, Copenhagen? Or you're letting somebody else do that for you. Or you're letting somebody else do that for you. Okay? And that's what, you know, if you have come into spirituality since 2020 and the Great Awakening, then there's one thing that you should realize, that you were manifesting all along, but without purpose. And that because you did not have that control of that manifestation, then life was just happening to you and not for you. And now that you have the knowledge of this said energy, then what do you intend to do with it? Okay, so this is what we undertake around here. Okay, so let's get into it. Spirit, can you show me what is it that the collective needs to know in regards to this eclipse today, and how they can best use this energy? First off, eclipse energy is a 6-month window, meaning that whatever comes out of this eclipse can be with you for the next 6 months. What's good, everybody coming in? So I ask you, where do you want to put it? And before I even start throwing cards, let me give you a clue of to where this energy might be lurking in your chart. If you have your birth chart, look at where Virgo is in your birth chart. What house is that? That is the area that is being concentrated. And that's a preliminary, that we could get into many other aspects, but that's a first house, right? So that's the self. That's the self, right? So the building of oneself, how you see yourself, right? Are you intuitively tapping into what it is that you're trying to build for yourself? Are you letting other people build that for you? Are you letting your anxiety get away from you, right? Those kind of factors. Spirit, can you show me what is it that the collective should know about this eclipse and how they can use this energy over the next 6 months to further the manifestation that they would like to see in their own personal lives? Spirit, can you show me, please, how this energy can be used by the collective for their best and highest outcome, please? We have out here the 8 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. Let's see what else. We have the Hermit. We have the King of Swords. We have the Ace of Wands and the 4 of Cups. So we have 2 aces out here. We have the 3 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. What's good, Bruja the villain? This eclipse is making us face, what's good, divine leaders? It's making us face our anxiety. Not for nothing. 8 of Swords. Overthinking. Virgo trait for sure. Virgoian energy, right? You see this, guys? Sleepless nights, right? And how we how you use the positive traits of Virgo right now, like the organization, without the anxiety. That's how you should be looking at this, because you want to be relying more on Piscean energy, which is intuitive, right? The inner knowing. But because it's the Virgo full moon and it's eclipse, it's very strong, the worry, right? Because thinking about the future is just anxiety, right? So how can you find a way to better do that without causing yourself unnecessary stress? Okay, so let's clarify this 8 of Swords and why, or how we best can use that. Page of Pentacles. Spirit says there's an opportunity if you can use the anxiety rather than letting it get the best of you, right? Use the Virgonian traits to get organizing your thoughts, compartmentalizing things. Are these real fears? Are this part of the plan of what I'm trying to build for the future? Is this thought pattern taking me further away from the outcome that I'm trying to achieve? Am I just building anxiety within myself? What's good, Ruby? Right? So let's look at this. Spirit, why is the 8 of Swords here with the 4 of Wands? Okay. A lot of people could be trying to get into home ownership. You could be homeowners. You could be worried about the economy and the stability. Okay. For some of you, there's relationships that are under stress with the 4 of Wands and the 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck because, you know, finances, maybe there's a lifestyle, right, Ruby? There could be, yes, it is collective, just right. There could be a lifestyle, right, that has been set up and now things could be disrupted in some way, shape, or form, and you're concerned about meeting those markers. 2 of Cups, 8 of Swords. There's also a lot of people are not faring well under this energy. It's bringing out mental health issues. So the 8 of Swords here, you could be worried about other people's mental health issues. You got the 4 of Cups here as well. You could even be recognizing like, oh, you know, like my mental health is a little fractured right now. Like I have my moments where I'm okay. And then I have moments where I'm overthinking because I'm very concerned with what's going to happen. Knight of Swords. Okay. For the melanated people, there's this whole judgment, being outside. When is it time to come outside? Right. The stressors that we normally live under, the 7 of Cups, what's real, what's not, what, you know, what are we, what part of it is our ancestors telling us like, no, for real, you should be worried about that shit, right? And what part of us is like overthinking and overanalyzing and hangman, and we need another perspective. And I said this to you guys before. As chaotic as things are right now, what's good, Amor? As chaotic as things are right now, if you can find a way to put a little something away, there's opportunities to make money. This could come in foreclosures, like trying to get a foreclosure. This could be, you know, getting the stocks after it bottoms out. Yo. Right? 2 of Swords. While everybody is in their anxiety, are we making money though? What's the saying? I'm paying attention to the business that pays me. Well, is your anxiety paying you? Because if not, then you should be trying to use that shit to make some fucking money right now. How about that? Right? Because I did that in 2008 when the bubble dropped. I went and bought a house. I didn't think I had enough. I didn't think I could, right? But you know what? They were eager because they needed people to buy homes. You understand? Listen. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Find yourself a mentor who maybe has done it. You know, you could always reach out to me, right? Listen, I'm going to do a whole thing about really how to manifest because I don't come on here really bragging because, you know, I like to stay humble, but I'm telling you, yo, the shit is possible, but you have to be a little delulu and you have to be willing to go after that shit like a pit bull. Okay? Now you got the 9 of Pentacles here. Spirit. With the 9 of Cups, you better say it. Okay? This is that coin being independent, a step away from the Empress, and wish fulfillment. Right? But it means restraining yourself from spending right now. Okay? You can have that new TikTok bag or that new TikTok, you know, Korean skincare. Okay? Or You could save those $50 and in 3 months take something like some real shit off your credit report. Listen, if you took away, I know a lot of people won't do it, but if you canceled all your subscriptions, you could pay off that shit that's been irritating the fuck out of you. And you could probably do it within 90 days. Okay? So I'm just trying to say to you. Now, Spirit just said, started at the bottom, now we here. I had said something to my collective in private last year. Okay? And we're already a quarter into the, a quarter into the first quarter of the year. You know what separates you from businesses? That businesses think of themselves in quarters, not years. So here we are, right? Thinking of ourselves like, what are my New Year's resolution? Fuck your New Year's resolution. What are you promising you will have done in 90 days? And then make that shit happen. And if you did that 4 times a year for the 4 quarters, imagine what you could get done by the end of the year. They don't be huge things. But if you pick the most important ones and knock those out, you'll see difference. I'm talking about mixing spirituality, astrology, your chart, and manifestation to arrive at the timeline that you want. Okay? Spirit, Ace of Swords with the 7 of Cups. And that's how you turn Delulu into reality. That's how you manifest what others might think that is can't be real. Okay? Just like a little Harlem girl buying her first home in Ohio without a motherfucking job. Find a mentor to teach you how. Right? I couldn't work because I had situations that prevented that. Like I had a child that needed me at home and there wasn't another parent. You understand? So I had to find other ways. Right? So the thing is how there's no situation that can't be worked around, but you have to be willing to get after it. And you definitely can hit me up, Kanisha. All right. So here is the Hermit. And listen, we're undertaking that in the ritual that I'm doing this month. And if any of you are on a budget and are trying to do this long term, look at my Patreon. I work intimately with all the members of my Patreon. They can tell you that it's not for fake. Okay? I don't just post a video in Patreon and let y'all, like I'm really there. Okay? So here's the Hermit, the Lovers, and the Stars. You see what I'm saying? So the Hermit is signifying something that has to be done from within, okay? And the Hermit walks with a lantern, and that lantern is spirit. Okay, so when you see the Hermit like this, they're following spirit, right? So here's the Hermit. Here's the Lovers. This is a choice, okay? Now, both the Hermit and the Lovers, which is Gemini and Virgo, are ruled by Mercury. Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow. If you can decide today, what's good, Dot? If you could decide today how it is you want to move forward, what is the thing that you want to see move in the next 3 months, then you can use this Mercury retrograde to look at how in the past you have maybe let that slip away, or how you may have went after it, but it could have been refined, right? And fix that. Why? Because the star. Because Pluto's in Aquarius now. because we're looking at getting on the path. We're also having our ancestors meet us where we are. Like the effort that you put is the effort that's being met. Hell yeah, that's 3 major arcana. Look, because you can kick the devil while he's down, okay? And look at with the high priestess underneath, right? So because the devil wants you to believe in a reality that tells you that you fucking can't, right? And the high priestess is the Delulu. Yes, but I know I can overcome this. So there's a battle here, a spiritually and intellectually savvy battle that is happening within yourself that has to do with your inner fears and the ability for you to overcome them in spite of them and get the reality that you want. If you're willing to do that, today's the day to claim that. Okay? King of Swords. And like I said, for those of you that want to join the ritual, you can do that. Link in the bio. LovelysSoulEmpress.com. Because the King of Swords is here. This is the intellectual. This is the system. This is the patriarchy. This is, right? An absorbing tale of intellectual authority and tradition. This is the limitations. This is the world telling you what you can and cannot do. Trying to block you. This is strength. This is you deciding what it is that you speak over yourself. This is you recognizing that only you get to determine the limitations of this journey. Okay? King of Wands. Okay? So the King of Swords could be telling you, you can't do this. But the action is right here. If you're willing to believe in yourself, if you're willing to build the reality, to put in the elbow grease, to meet spirit where they've been trying to direct you. Because a lot of time that's also the problem, that we've been pushing against what spirit has been trying to give us because sometimes we think we know better. Sometimes we're afraid. And it's, you know, sometimes it's generational curses. And most times it's a trinity of all of those things. And it takes us in our spiritual journey to peel away the layers of the onion. Okay. I don't believe in just one thing. I don't believe that your astrological chart or your astrology person is going to be able to give you just that. And your ancestors can't just give you that. And your schooling can't just give you that, right? This is about finding people that can show you how to put all of these things together and use them, right? To be able to learn how to decipher that for yourself, right? So yes, I answer a question a month for my followers, but I'm also constantly teaching them the skills to do the self-control, to use all these different aspects so that they become the master of their reality. Thank you for the roses, my love, right? So they become the master of their reality. Because what good is it if you are working with me, if all you're learning how to do is to pay me to get to do it for you? Right? So maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I have a ritual that people can join and I give them the jump start. But the rest of the time, I'm teaching you how to achieve that. What does it help if you don't understand how to build that? Okay, so we got the Ace of Wands here. Spirit. Eight of Wands comes out with the Eight of Wands. Okay. So first, what? Okay. So this is like what you're passionate about. And oftentimes we're not getting what we're passionate about. What's good, Leah Star? We're not getting what we're passionate about because we are, like afraid of listening to spirit, or we're afraid, like when somebody, like let's say you say, well, I want to start a business and do X, Y, and Z. And they say, well, what makes you think you could know about that? And then you're like, oh yeah, you're right, right? You let that other person determine what your passion was, right? Spirit also wants you to communicate what your passion is to spirit. How committed are you to that? Because the Ten of Cups is right here. But this King of Swords that was there before is telling you it's not logical. You can't do that. Right? The system doesn't want you to have that, right? So are you going to let something outside of yourself determine the outcome of your story, or are you harnessing the power for that? Here's the Chariot. Eight of Pentacles. Are you working towards the goal that you want? Yes, but I still see the opportunity to change something and bring that death and transformation about, or you let, the negative or negative Nancy's deceive you out of your blessings, out of your true wish fulfillment with the moon here. Let's look at the Four of Cups. Spirit, why is the Four of Cups here, please? Four Cups with the Nine of Wands crossed and the Magician. What has been holding you back, right, is like a lack of belief in your own magic and how special you are and how magical you could be, right? If you just take a risk on you. Okay? Six of Swords. You might actually see that you get farther by taking a leap of faith than by waiting for opportunity to come knock on your door, right? And a lot of times when we refuse to bet on ourselves, the universe will put us in awkward positions with the Tower here to push us into new beginnings. I mean, either way, you will be forced to take the new beginning, right? But in the frequency of what? Right? Faith and hope and coming out victorious, or feeling like, oh, I don't have enough to do this. I'm probably not going to be good at this. Well, guess what the outcome is going to be of that? Okay? Hangman. Okay, the beauty about the Hangman is that when he hangs upside down, he gets a new perspective. The horizon looks different. Queen of Pentacles, this is the entrepreneurial spirit. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, right? There's an event coming, guys. Okay, while everybody else is, looking at it as heartbreaking, and it may be 3 and 3, okay? There's a opportunity here to redo your world, reinvent some situation, but you have to make the decision that there is the opportunity to make the Ten of Pentacles. You have to look at where things are inevitably going to be built back. And that is the key, right? Inevitably going to be built back. So, for instance, we have a Amazon boycott right now, right? I don't know how much Amazon is right now. Probably a couple $100. But imagine, right? Just imagine if that stock went down from $300 to $60. Right? I'm going to just explain something to you. right? It went down to $60. That's practically going bankrupt, okay? That's the time when you take out all the fucking money that you can from everywhere and you get that stock. Why? Because what are the odds that Amazon is going to go out of business? Okay? So what happens? That stock will jump back up to at least 100. You doubled your money. You doubled your money. Right? Because what is meant to tell you that is a no, you can say yes. Right? But you have to be working with your ancestors, with your chart, and taking all of those aspects into consideration. So here's a little assignment for y'all. While the Mercury retrograde is going, it starts tomorrow, right? Maybe start thinking about what are the things that you would like to have turn around in your personal situation. What would you like to concentrate on first? What is the most important? What could you concentrate on the first 90 days? Maybe make a new vision board, if only on your phone. And pay attention to what looks like it's going to break down, but will inevitably be built up. And how can you get a piece of that? Whatever that may be. That can be, a home, right? Because a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and then they're going to lose their mortgages, and then all these houses, they need to rent, they need to sell them, right? There's so much that I could teach about this. Do you know when I put a bid on my home? December 30th, right? It was a short sale, meaning the bank owned it. It wasn't even a person, right? Now the bank, remember, I just said to you, banks like to think in quarters, right? The bank don't want that house to go over to the next year on their books. They would much rather have sold that property. So what are the odds, right? That a banker who's not tied emotionally to that home isn't going to give a little 5% off just to get that shit off the books at the end of the year. Sure did. So while everybody else was worried about what they were going to do for New Year's, right? I was trying to purchase, right? I was playing, with the numbers and a bank, hoping that they would want to get that shit out and they would give me a financial break, and that shit worked. Okay? Start looking for those things. Start looking for little ways that you could get out. And we know that this shit about to tank. We can see the writing on the wall. So what does that mean? Get your credit right as fast as possible so that you can make moves. Because there's going to be a whole group of people who voted for this shit, who not going to be ready. They don't have the assets. They don't have the ends. They don't, right? And there's going to be a lot of shit on the table. I'm trying to tell y'all. Manifest this period. Manifest how to come up. I'm dead ass. And if you can swing it, join my ritual. It's next week, right? Because we're swinging for the fences. we swinging for the fences. I'm not even playing. I ain't gonna hold you. I always try to use like all the eclipse and things like that. I always try to harness those frequencies to get like a jump start on shit. Okay. And we're doing it again. All right. So that's pretty much what Spirit wanted to talk about on the on this eclipse. I'm gonna say one final thing, and I want you to think about this shit, and it actually makes sense. Okay. The nodes move in reverse. Right? We was in Taurus and Scorpio, and it was like, what do you value and what are you willing to let die for it? Then it went to Aries and Libra, right? Which we just completed, right? Now that you know what you value, how do you build that in yourself, and what relationships are not supporting that? And we piece those out, right? And now it's in Pisces and Virgo, right? So what is it saying? And what didn't you see in all that? What didn't you see of maybe how you were tearing that down, or what was too close to you that you couldn't see was, like being a blockage to that? And are you missing opportunities, right? Intuitively, and letting your anxieties or your perfectionism stand in the way of you actually like taking action, right? Because Virgo can be so concerned with everything being perfect that they can wait too long and sleep on an opportunity, right? But then what happens after that? It's going to go into Aquarius and Leo. And what's happening in Aquarius? Well, Pluto just got there, right? Signaling the age of Aquarius, starting a 20-year cycle. So what does that mean? That in this time period, when it's in Pisces and Virgo, we're anchoring what you want the next 20 years to be about. While the world is telling you, no, you cannot do this, that system is dying. That's the system of old, but it needs your energy to stay there, right? So if you say, I know that you're trying to get me to hold on to that, but I no longer believe in that. I'm anchoring myself in the delulu of Pisces and the internal knowing that I have the power to create that. And I'm going to start walking to that and not going to wait for the perfectionism of something to make that shit happen. And guess what's going to come out? That by the time we get to Aquarius, we'll really be rooted in the age of Aquarius, in the new, right? So 6 months to 18 months, let's go. What do you want to see? Manifest it. Are you about that life? You with the shits? What's good? Are you the one and the two? What's good? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? And you need to decide that now, because the universe is all about telling you no. Right? And this is about you saying yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I'm gonna. Okay? So that's what I have for you guys. I just wanted to jump on and do that. I'm going to cook and do some other things. I'm wishing you all light and love and blessings on blessings. Bye, guys. Bye, my loves.